Alfabusa's Ciaphas Cain short was masterfully made. Well, that's the most useless statement I've ever made. Everything Alfabusa makes is done with such care and diligence, and that it's hard not to look at his work and wonder why such professionalism can only exist on YouTube, meanwhile large-scale production companies keeps funding garbage. Yet one guy can make this. Oh, hey there. So, after recording this audio, I realized this short was co-written by Takatata101. They are also the voice actor of Cain. I wasn't aware of this until legit a few hours after recording, so bravo to Takatata101. He did a great job scripting this. The Ciaphas Cain short, now that I've read most of the books, is something I can fully appreciate now for just how lore accurate it really is. Like, most of what Alpha makes is memey or exaggerated aspects of 40k lore and characters, but the whole Ciaphas Cain short from start to finish makes me wonder why Alpha is even calling this a parody, as I can see this being expanded to be a real Ciaphas Cain short story, even with that ending with Calgar. But let's get down to breaking down the actual short and why I think it's awesome. The whole thing opens with this heroic music playing, Ciaphas being cheered on by the 597th, the regiment he's spent the most time with, and of course the first word that comes out of the man's mouth here is him attempting to be modest. And I love how he's drawn to be this tall, easily over a foot taller than anyone else, with broad shoulders and masculine, with this round chin that would make Festus wonder if he's got a rival. If you've seen any of the Cain books covers, you'd realize that the man is also presented in propaganda as this super buff man firing a bolter single-handed, which is only partially true, as Ciaphas prefers a las pistol. And then the typical hero worship happens when all of his men raises their commissar high in the air and chant his name. And then here comes Sola, the annoying guardswoman who saw Cain as a sort of mentor figure, while Cain himself saw her as an annoying hotshot whose reckless moves somehow never got her killed, and some random guardsman who also joins in, and they both literally shove one another out of the way. I also appreciate how, as they explain Cain remaining at the rear, then retreating to a dead end while being chased by orc commandos as some super tactical decision on his part, the man is slowly arching backwards as if his soul is seeping out as they rationalize him cornering himself and shooting up an entire cliff face is something he completely planned out, as if the adrenaline of the moment has finally died down for Cain to realize, oh wow, I just did that. And then as the guardsmen finish retelling what happened, everyone cheers on and Cain just rapidly inflates as if remembering, oh yeah, I have a reputation to uphold here. And then we cut to Caiaphas's office, where he's completely alone and is able to let out his real feelings.
Should be dead.
I think the Ciaphas we saw before was how the man views his outward persona. The heroic man he plays up to hide the fact that Cain is an incredibly self-interested person and rarely goes into danger unless he has no other choice, plus the perks of being labeled as a hero of the Imperium. The one we see now is how Cain truly views himself, the buff shoulders, chin, and height all literally melting away along with the purity seals. Even his chainsword loses like a third of its mass and it looks so worn down now.
Withdraw? You mean hightail it like a damn coward as fast as a chimera can take me? Because that's what I did!
In the books, Cain fully believes himself to be a coward, with this heroic persona being just that, a persona he plays up for the perks. And the self-deprecation showcased visually and verbally both fits with that idea he has of himself, as a shriveling coward who survives mainly through luck. And one noble dark thing I can appreciate here is how Cain bashes himself because he thinks the luck he has is starting to fail, and with it the lie he's been carrying. And when that all falls apart, he's concerned that the men under his command will suffer.
You piece of shit! The house of cards you have built will tumble to the ground, crushing not only you, but all these poor, innocent souls who you've led into this web of deceit.
Lore-wise, Cain looks after his men and is very lenient with them because he knows being an overzealous commissar is a good way to get fragged. But many times in the books, Cain genuinely feels bad when he loses people, especially when it's because of a decision he's made.
Deafening loud now! Let the lie die before we do.
And it's that knowledge of his fraudulent reputation blowing up and taking him as well as others down with him that he tries to psych himself up into just admitting it now before it becomes even bigger. A very human action that I could almost see the real Cain in the books doing. Although, reading the Ciaphas Cain series, I have learned that the man is as skilled as people think. Sure, he's heavily propagandized in the Imperium, but the man is a good tactician and has dueled a Core Knight Berserker with minimal aid from the men around him and won. And it's canon that Cain once defeated a demon prince with nothing but a broken bayonet and a vial of holy water. The man is just that good, but his career started out with him putting on this mask of bravery and heroism. And that idea never left Cain, which is why he still thinks all of his victories is just luck. And Alpha calling it imposter syndrome is just perfect, because imposter syndrome is all about rationalizing your accomplishments as being flukes and not due to any actual skill or ability of the person in question. And this short is basically just Cain's imposter syndrome exploding to the surface in one moment.
Tell them the truth! Tell them!
Yet even if Cain was completely a fraud, he really can't tell anyone, because the figure portrayed is such an important one that the quote-unquote truth would dissipate morale across the segmentum because he's so heavily propagandized. In addition to just having him executed for cowardice, his men will probably suffer anyway when they realize they've been idolizing a fraud. So in Cain's mind, if he doesn't tell anyone, his luck will run out and people will suffer. But if he does tell anyone, that web of lives he made shall break and get even more people killed. It's a catch-22 that is slowly destroying him. Then a Nurgulate cultist comes out of nowhere.
Commissar Cain!
Nope, wait, sorry. That's just his aide Jurgen with news.
It turns out the Orcs' war boss was in the group of greenskins the cliff face fell into. Now all of the Orc forces are in full retreat, planet-wide. The commander is here to award you the Star of Terror for your bravery.
I was only doing my duty, Jurgen. I am honored by such a gesture. Tell the commander I humbly accept, and please, send him in.
This ending for the short is perfect for two reasons. Cain being so relieved at the idea that there is someone who is finally able to not only speak with about this, but who understands the man's situation, that he just falls into his arms and starts crying. And the second is that it makes sense for Calgar to say this lore-wise, because this isn't the real Calgar. The real Marnius Calgar was a rich boy groomed to take on the Ultramarines' trials, but he then died in a Chaos cultist attack, and his close friend, who looked kind of like him, took the trials in his place with his name, and succeeded, and now everyone believes he's Calgar. No, I'm serious, this is actually canon. Look up Malnius Calgar comic issue 2 by Marvel. The story is right there, I swear. Anyway, that's why I enjoy this short. It's an oddly lore-accurate piece that I could definitely see being a real Ciaphas Cain short story. It was fun to watch, and the visual way Alpha showed Cain's personas and made the outbursts he had believable. This all felt like I was watching Ciaphas Cain as Sandy Mitchell would write him. It's another reason why I will continuously say that Alfabusa is a professional writer. If you like this video and are new to the channel, click that like button and comment your thoughts down below, and head over to check out my other video essays, music analysis, and overanalyzing Shira and the Princesses of Power. You might find them enjoyable as well, and consider subscribing for more content like this to come.